Hey, what's going on, everybody? I wanted to jump in and give you guys a quick lesson on how to do your design layouts in Illustrator, then bring those into After Effects to be animated later. Let's go. Okay, so we're here in Illustrator, and what I have is this logo, and all of the design elements are located here in this layer 1. And if we were to just bring this into After Effects, it would just bring it in as one composition that we wouldn't be able to manipulate any of the individual elements. So what we need to do is we need to go through and group together all the stuff that we want to be able to manipulate later. So the easiest way that I have found to do that is just go in and turn everything off. And then as you go, you can sort of just select and group together. So one quick note, here in your layer panel, you can't just select the layer and then group them together because you're only selecting like where they are in the layer stack. So you're gonna have to select them with your selection tool, or you can use these little dots down here that will allow you to select the actual object. So Control Command G to group, and then we can just kind of move on to the next one. And so I want to make sure that I get all the parts of this building, and it looks like I've got them. So that looks great. And then we'll go through and do this one. Nice. Okay, we'll turn those off so that way it makes it easier to select this next part. Got that. Group that together. And we've got this top ellipses, which we don't need to put that into a group because it's just an individual element. So in order to get this broken out into layers, you could go the slow route, which would be to make a bunch of layers, click and drag them into place. But we're not going to do that because once you get into hundreds of layers in your designs, it's faster to select the layer, go up here to your menu, and then hit Release to Layers Sequence, and that will sequence build all of the layers here. Don't forget to turn them back on, by the way. So now what we'll be able to do is we will be able to rename all of these. So that way the naming convention that we keep here will show up in After Effects. So drag that above layer 1. You can go ahead and trash layer 1. You don't need that anymore. We're going to put background. Let's see, which one are you? You're the left. This is the right building. Front building. And the top ring. Okay, so now that's great. And the only thing left to do is that we're going to need some text. And so just a quick note that if you are setting this up for another designer that is going to be working on a machine that may or may not have this font or something like that, one thing that you can do is you can go ahead and convert these into shape layers, and instead of it being an editable text layer, it will actually create the outlines of the text as a shape. So create outlines, and now if you use your direct selection tool, you can see all the points, and if you really wanted to, I guess you could come in and grab some of these and manipulate them. But we're not going to do that. Oh, looks like we accidentally put that inside of our ellipsis layer. So in this case, since it's just the one, create a new layer, drag that above, and we'll double click to rename that text. Okay, looks like this got us where we needed to go. So we'll go ahead and save this, and we will jump into After Effects. All right, so here we are inside of After Effects. We'll go ahead and double click in our project panel here, and we'll bring in our little tutorial logo. Now, the most important thing that you're gonna do here in this menu is you're gonna go down to Import As and select Composition Retain Layer Sizes. If you import as footage, all that work we just did to separate the layers will be for nothing. It'll just bring it in as one layer. So you want to keep your Composition Retain Layer Sizes and import. And now, it's going to create a composition for us based on the size of our artboard, which was 1920 by 1080 in this case. And you can see here all of the layers that we created inside of Illustrator are reflected here in After Effects. So let's go ahead and start turning some of these off so that we can animate the individual layers. I want to keep the ring on just so that we can get the relative positioning. But we're going to select this front, hit P for position. We're going to come out, I don't know, 10 frames or so, and click the stopwatch to make a keyframe. We can come back to 0 here, drag this down just outside the ring. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so now let's make this animation a little more pleasant than it just jumping into frame. Select the position, go over here to your graph editor, and we're going to separate the X and Y values using this little button down here, separate dimensions. Grab the point, and I'm just gonna grab this Bezier handle and just drag it down. So now it will just sort of come to a nice gentle rest in its final position. Let's do that a couple more times with the left and the right. So we'll come over here, select our positions, then separate X and Y, drag our, oh, we should turn them on so we can see them. Drag our Y value down, and grab this other guy, drag our Y value down, and then we'll take that. And because we hit the separate X and Y values first, it didn't give us the Bezier curves. You can click it again, I guess, but you can also click this Bezier Easy Ease, all of these keyframe assistants down here, and it will make that handle for you as well. All right, so now we've got what we're after. They ease into place. I want them to kind of ease into place. I want to stagger the animation a little bit, so that's probably too much. Let's drag this back a little bit, give it that, because we want them to just go choo choo choo. The animation, the sound effects definitely help when you go choo choo choo. Okay, so now what we want to do. So this is cool. So we've got what we need here, the background layer and the ring we're not going to mess with. And we'll just go ahead and leave the text. I'll do a tutorial later on down the road about some interesting ways that you can animate your logo text or your title text onto the screen and stuff like that. But in this case, we're just going to leave it on screen. And we're going to select our left, right, and front buildings. Control or Command, Shift, C. To create a new composition, we want to move all attributes into a new composition. All right. Now, we are also going to, while we're still in this composition, create a new solid. I like to make it a really wacky color, like bright green or bright orange or something like that, because whenever you have hundreds of layers, sometimes with track mats or with layers that are just placeholders, it becomes hard to find them. And so one easy trick is to make it a color that you definitely don't want making the final composition. And it shows up green here in your layer stack as well. So what I want to do, I want to move that just below the ring. And I'm going to grab my ellipse tool. With the layer selected, I'm going to create a mask. And we have this nice thick stroke on our ring here, so we don't have to be too super exact. We just want to get it pretty close because this is going to be the mask for our buildings. Okay, so now we've got that. Control-Shift-C. We're going to pre-compose this layer, move all attributes into a new layer, which is fine. And then we're going to pre-compose these together, your pre-comp and your green solid, okay? Now, what we want to do is we want to make it so that the green ring, the green circle, drives the track mat for our animation. So this is going to be the thing that masks it out. So the way that I did that was green layer above the layer that we want to keep, and then we just went alpha matte green solid, and that gave us this beautiful little cutout here. Great, so now we can jump back over here, and let's take a look at what we made. Okay, I want to maybe drag that out just a little bit longer, so that way the animation is just a little bit more pleasant. If you hit U on the keyboard, it brings up all your keyframes. We can just drag this guy out. Let's drag it out to 1 second, see how that looks. Yeah, looks fine. Okay, go back and go back. Well, I think we've done it, folks. I hope this has helped show you how you can leverage the power of Illustrator inside of After Effects. Illustrator is an extremely powerful design tool that uses vectors instead of pixels like Photoshop uses, which means once you get it into After Effects, you'll be able to scale it without any loss of quality. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer. If you have a suggestion for a tutorial, let me know. I'll be more than happy to jump in and show you guys how to make some really cool stuff. Bye, everybody.